special art.
Cheney had no play except the foul, did he?
Well, the special art is to run your man off the screen. A lot of guys can't do that. I like the idea that the two heavyweights are playing head-to-head. Jackson on Cheney, Cheney on Jackson. Cheney just beat him.
You got a whistle and you got a foul called on Jackson as he tried to swipe the ball as Cheney put it up.
Jackson was trailing the play. Cheney trying to run him into a screen. See Jackson, number 22, trying to check number 40. Now he's going to take him right into an ambush.
2 innings, allowed 6 hits, 1 earned run, given up 2 walks and 5 strikeouts. And really not enough pitching to get a true indication of this young man. But we will find out more starting right now. The weather here in Coral Gables, temperature is 76 degrees. The wind is out of the southwest at 10 miles an hour, and the forecast partly cloudy skies. Field dimensions: to the foul poles 330, to the power alleys 365, and to dead center field 400 feet. And the umpires for tonight's game. An old buddy of mine behind the plate, George Maloney. I knew George many years in the American League. George Macris will be at first base, and Charlie Larka is at third base. I told George before the game, I said, you better call him right. I said, I'm going to second guess you all night long, just like I did in the major leagues. And he laughed. He said, Frank, I never knew you to second guess me up there, and I never did. So I got my chance tonight.
Leading off,
Doug Glanville. He's the one the scouts are here to look at. He's batting .550 with 4 ribbies. Last year, he hit .338, stole 18 bases. He can do just about everything there is to do on a baseball field. I talked to some of the scouts who are here tonight. Now, Bill Lipsy is here from the New York Yankees. Steve Suchak, an independent from the Scouting Bureau, is here. Glanville right back off the leg of Karp, and Ryan retrieves it and throws him out. Let's see if he's all right. That was a pretty hard shot right back up the middle, and Karp made the play beautifully after knocking the ball down with his leg. Take another look at it on the replay as we wait for Bob Greasy to come up. He didn't get the glove down quite in time. Looks like it got him just off the shin bone there. But good presence of mind, picks it up and throws on to first base. And now Bob Greasy has made his way up from the playing field after his chat with Ron Fraser. Welcome,
Frank,
Bob.
good to see you.
Good to see you always. Pretty good play there by the youngster. Not
stopped it with his leg, didn't he?
Yeah. First pitch here to Tim McCaffrey, the second baseman, is in for a called strike.
You know, you look at Ryan Karp, there are 8 pitchers on the Hurricane staff that have worked more innings than Ryan Karp, so a big opportunity for him here tonight.
Nice play at first base by Miranda. He made a big league play right there. That ball was not hit that hard. He was able to get to it and make the play. Miranda does not get that many chances to play. There it is, a backhand pickup. Spins right around, waves Karp off, and goes to the bag to get McCaffrey. So 2 ground ball outs. Maybe that's an indication, Bob. This kid Karp throws ground balls all night. He's going to be all right.
Both of them have been hit pretty well, though.
Right at somebody. On the coaching lines over at third base, head coach Bob SEDDON of the Quakers, and his coach over at first base is Brian Quinn. Brian Quinn is a pitcher by trade. There he is. So when he's not pitching, he does a little coaching. 2 balls and a strike. Look at Maloney. Maloney's going to showboat a little bit tonight. He turns around to the fans.
Is he a major league umpire?
Yeah, he was in the American League for a good many years.
Uh-huh.
He is now superintendent of the commissioner of the South Florida Umpires Association. He is the head man.
Well, we don't see him out here very often.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't put the pads on very often. He makes the assignments.
Uh-huh.
George, a nice man. I've known him for many years. Ball 4. Fell walks. Got a high fastball. So the Quakers have a man on. Now, Bob, you mentioned that the Quakers have been to the NCAA's the last 3 years in a row, despite the fact they have no scholarships. There's not a scholarship, period.
Well, it's an Ivy League school. As you take a look at Ben BREIER, a local fellow from Palmetto High School, hitting 188. The Quakers have played only 4 games, so some of their averages will be up in the 500s and some will be very low. It's too early in the season, really, to tell. In fact, BREIER...
I thought that Fell might go there. He started to go a little undecided, and once you have that moment of indecision, you better stay where you are.
George Fabregas there is catching tonight. Normally a third baseman, is catching for the Hurricanes just to give Charles Johnson a little bit of a breather. As we mentioned earlier, 10 games in an 11-day period, and Johnson just a little bit tired.
That's a strike. Fastball over the outside part of the plate. Johnson is playing tonight. He'll be the designated hitter. Now look at this. BREIER led the 90 Quakers with a .387 batting average as a freshman.
Not only led the Quakers, but also led the league in hitting.
In the air, right field, long run for Luis Hernandez, but he pulls it in. No runs, no hits, a walk and a man left on. After 1/2 inning of play, the Quakers nothing, and the Canes are coming to bat on Sports Channel.
Good times with friends, hey, they're special. Sometimes you wish they would never end. The care you show is just as special. Friends know when to say when.
The family of Budweiser beers is proud of all the friendships they've helped make. So when they remind you to know when to say when, it's all in the name of friendship.
Friends know when to say when.
Every year, thousands of babies die from choking, suffocating, or other breathing emergencies. Just imagine how many of them could be saved if only they came with instructions. Please learn American Red Cross Infant and Child CPR. American Red Cross. We help you help others.
The Canes will bat thusly. Luis Hernandez playing right field leads off. Then Greg Coleman, the left fielder, batting second. George Fabregas catching and hitting third. Charles Johnson, the cleanup hitter, as the DH tonight. Juan Yanes at third base will bat fifth. Mike Tozar, the second baseman, hits sixth. In the number 7 spot, first baseman Alex Miranda. Chris Anderson, the shortstop, will bat eighth. And GINO DIMAREC, playing center field, will bat ninth. Defensively for the Quakers, Todd Messina's in left field, Doug Glanville in center, and Glenn Miller in right. On the infield, Anthony Feld at third, Trey McLeod at short, Tim McCaffrey at second, Alan Myers at first, Ben BREIER is the catcher, and Bill Whistler is on the mound for the Quakers. Take a look at Whistler. They hold a lot of promise for this young man. A 1-0 record, even though the earned run average is 7.20. That means nothing at all. He's only been out once. He did get a win. He gave up a lot of runs, but still got a win, evidently, Bob.
Yes, he is the best that the Quakers have to offer. And talking with Coach SEDDON before the ball game, he said the strength of this ball club last year was their pitching staff. They lost 4 top pitchers, but Whistler is right there with them. He is the lone remaining star of that team from last year as far as the pitching staff is concerned.
Pitched only 5 innings, as you saw there. 4 runs, 4 hits, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts. And here's Luis Hernandez, the right fielder, to lead off of the game, batting .227. Whistler's a power pitcher, fastball, sinker, split finger. There's Ron Fraser coaching down at third, the head coach of the Canes. And over at first base, Jim Pizzolatto. Strike 2, 0-2.
Hernandez, the hitter, the leadoff hitter, has reached base to start a University of Miami game. The first inning, the last 4 games, he's reached base the first time up.
Whistler throws that one way out of the strike zone.
Hernandez has started in the leadoff spot more than any other player this year. That is 9 times, not counted on at the beginning of the season to play that much. Just a freshman.
Top foul. Fraser flags it down. Wouldn't that be embarrassing if he missed that easy hopper? If he had any idea he would miss it, he would not try to catch it.
He wouldn't get near it, would he?
That's right. That's one thing a good coach will do.
29 years standing down there at third base at Marklight Stadium. He knows when to grab for one and when to let it go.
That's right. Good coach will never let a ball play him. That one is fouled back, and that will be, I believe, in the seats. Pretty good crowd here as we look around the stands, Bob.
This game is sandwiched in between the University of Maine's 4-game series here at the Light. Maine playing here last night, and will play here again Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon.
We'll have that game Saturday night right here on Sports Channel. 1-2 on Hernandez. He's out. Strikeout for Whistler.
Good pitch, just a fastball right down the pipe. And Hernandez was obviously fooled.
Looks like he started that pitch outside and then it cut in just into the strike zone. Greg Coleman will step in, batting .304, 12 ribbies, and no home runs. Showing bunt, and fouls it off. No, he didn't foul that off. It just in the dirt. Ball 1.
You got to quit looking down at your notes and keep your head up.
There you go.
Huh? I do that all the time too.
Swing and a miss makes it a ball and a strike. I don't have any notes. That's the funny thing about it. Never write notes. Got caught one time with bad note.
Really?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That ball is slammed to left field. The diving Feld could not come up with it. And on into second base easily with a double, Greg Coleman. His third two-bagger of the season. And, of course, the Canes' first hit of the ball game. And here it is again.
Coleman gets around on an inside fastball and knocks it inside Feld. And how many times do you see the ball hit down the line, ends up as a double? It's automatic.
That's right. Well, he turned on that one very well. Third double of the season, so the Canes, with an early scoring opportunity, bring up George Fabregas, the catcher. George is batting .326 and leads the team with 5 homers.
And struggling, at average dropping down to .326, all the way from the high 300s. In fact, he's 0 for 8 in his last 8 plate appearances, and he's not reached base in his last 9 appearances. On Monday against George Washington, he saw his streak of consecutive games reaching base snapped at 31.
But nonetheless still leads the Canes in runs, hits, RBIs, and homers.
He's fanned in 6 of his last 12 plate appearances. And he turned 21 years old last night, so not a good omen for the man that is really considered the best hitter on the Hurricane team.
0-2 count as he's taken 2 called strikes. 1-2. We're going to have fun tonight with Maloney and the fans down there. It's going to be a running thing all night long. Maloney will play the fans, and the fans will play him. Whistler, basically a power pitcher. Ball is hit in the air to center field. Back, Glanville, and makes the catch. Unbelievable.
Makes the catch. If you just tuned in, Glanville, the center fielder, is the man that we talked about. Doug Glanville, the Yankee scouts, and a bunch of the scouts are here to look at. They think that he's going to be a #1 draft choice. Makes a difficult catch look easy, kind of nonchalants it. Says, oh, I overran it. I can just flip my hand back and make the catch.
Just a great catch. Great play by Glanville. First time I've seen this young man play. Yeah, the scouts I've talked to and his coach, Bob SEDDON, all feel that he will be drafted in the first round. So Fabregas is gone, and here's Charles Johnson. He takes a strike.
Talking about Glanville, he just set the Cape Cod League on its ear this past summer.
And so did this pitcher, Bill Whistler. He was the pitcher of the year in the Cape Cod League.
Pitcher of the year, and Glanville, who made that outstanding catch, really surprised a lot of the scouts and really came out of there as a surefire top choice.
Popped him up, shallow outfield, coming in from right, and under it for the catch, Glenn Miller. So a threat but no score by the Canes. Greg Coleman, who doubled, is stranded at third after 1 inning, no score.
Want to lower your golf score? It's easy. Do what I do. Get a pencil with an eraser on it. And make sure you get your golf equipment at the Sports Authority. They've got everything for beginners to pros like me at everyday low prices. This place is big. Looks like a 3-wood just to get to the cash register.
The Sports Authority. You've never seen anything quite like it.
Maybe I should have used the 2-iron.
If you're shopping for sneakers anywhere but Sneakers Machine, you're paying too much. Reebok pumps. The entire series of Reeboks are on sale. Men's high-top pumps, $85. Reebok pumps for kids, $60. Reebok pumps, ladies' cross-training shoes, only $75. LA Gear men's shoes, $25. LA Gear kids shoes, $25. Just try to find LA Gear ladies' shoes at $19. Sneakers Machine does it again. Some restrictions apply.
Let's take a look at something that happened back in February. That is Frank Moore, the right fielder, and that is Gino DiMareC, the center fielder. One of the worst collisions, Bob, I ever saw on a baseball field. And we're showing you that for a purpose. They thought both kids might be out for the rest of the year. DiMareC came back within a week, and right here, in almost the middle of your screen, in the back row,
the bare leg.
With the bare leg, standing up,
yawning.
Yeah, that is Frank Moore. Not only is he in uniform, he took, well, he's not in uniform now, he was before the game. He took batting practice tonight, and the trainer, Al Shupert, tells me he thinks he'll be able to play again by the end of this month as a designated hitter. That is amazing.
It'd be amazing, having broken his leg in a couple of places. Not compound fractures, obviously, just cracks, but still.
Alan Myers leads off the second inning. First baseman for the Quakers, 500 hitter, 2 ribbies. We'll get back to Moore in just a minute. 2 balls and no strikes. The Hurricane trainer, Al Shupert, tells me that Moore is a good month ahead of all expectations as far as rehab is concerned.
They expected him to be out for the year.
Yes.
And I think that's good. It takes the pressure off the kid. If the kid can work himself and get back before the end of the season, that's great. But don't put any pressure on. Don't say you got to be back by the end of March or the first or middle of April.
No, you know, Fraser won't do that. I'm not saying that Frank is going to play. That ball is grounded foul. I'm saying that Shupert says he thinks he will be able to play. Now, it's up to Fraser and the doctors, of course. But it's just an amazing... I talked to Frank Moore before the game, Bob, and I said, you know, you scared me to death. I know you were more scared than I was. And he said, you know, Frank, he said, I wasn't really scared. It all happened so quickly.
Yeah.
But he is just... He said, I said, you going to play this year? He said, you're darn right I'm going to play this year.
Yeah.
So that's the way he feels about it, and I think it's a fantastic end to what could have been a very tragic story.
Well, it's a great attitude for him, a full count.
And he struck him out. First strikeout for Ryan Karp. Take another look, Bob.
Ryan Karp, the big left-hander. The big Charlie, Uncle Charlie.
Uncle Charlie and Lord Charles. I'm looking at all these curveball terms from Chris Welch over in Tampa. Glenn Miller. I used to enjoy his music. Always, that was my favorite band, the Glenn Miller Orchestra.
Yeah, used to pick him up and lay him down on the dance floor, did you?
Yeah. Tragic ending to him during the war. Plane disappeared. Did he swing? Yes, he did. Strike call by the first base umpire, George Macris. Glenn Miller, a sophomore from Randolph, New Jersey. He's a big kid at 6'2" and 220. You remember the Glenn Miller Orchestra, Bob?
Well, you know, I'm just a kid.
Yeah, I know, all right.
I remember the name.
I know.
I
Here, you want my bib?
barely remember any of that stuff. I mean, the Beatles, barely.
Looper out of the right field. That player is going to drop in for a base hit. So Miller is on. First hit of the ball game for the Quakers. I'll tell you who's in the ballpark that would remember the Glenn Miller Orchestra. We take another look at this base hit.
Just fights that off to right field, just slaps it over the infielder's head. Who's in the ballpark that would remember?
Harlan Singer is here tonight. Our senior producer. He is here somewhere. He may be down the truck, maybe in the stands. I'm not sure, but I know Harlan would remember the Glenn Miller Orchestra, and I bet he would even remember what instrument Glenn Miller carried.
Well,
now,
I don't. I got to ask you here.
He did play it. There were some orchestra leaders that carried the instrument, never played it.
Harlan.
Oh, there's Harlan. He's in the stands. He can't hear me on the Glenn Miller trivia.
He's over in the Fraser skybox.
Yeah, that's where he is.
Yeah.
Right there in the skybox. All right. Todd Messina, the left fielder, with a count of 1 ball, no strikes. No, Glenn Miller's instrument was the trombone.
The trombone. Mm-hmm. How about Lawrence Welk? Did he ever play an instrument?
I don't know.
He just carried that little stick around, didn't he?
Carried that little stick and the bubbles. The stick and the bubbles.
The bubbles, yeah. Lawrence Welk, he'll be known for the 1 and the 2 and the bubbles.
I wonder if he's still playing golf. Lawrence Welk's got to be, what, close to 90?
I don't know.
In his 80s?
God bless him if he is.
Oh, yeah. They're trying to make a shrine out of his home.
I saw that, yes,
somewhere.
yes.
Well, now, Ryan Karp takes a little too much time for Todd Messina, who requests time. Todd is a junior from Warwick, Rhode Island. Well, Karp said, well, I'll just throw over to first base. Now that ball gets away, that's a live ball. Third baseman, Juan Yanis, retrieves it. There's no score here in the top of the second. High foul left side. Let's see if Yanis has a chance, and he does have a chance. Right there by the tarpaulins. Good play by Yanis for out number 2. Never takes his eye off the ball, Bob.
Yanis is moving around, has gone from first base to third base, been in the outfield and left field, designated hitter. Allows Frazier to move some players in at different positions.
Now the designated hitter, Brian Hain, H-O-E-H-N, pronounced Hain. And Karp goes after the base runner, Glenn Miller. Hain, a junior from Pipersville, Pennsylvania. Strike 1. I'll tell you, this Quaker team has kids from all over the United States, from New Jersey, California, Michigan, Coral Gables, Florida. You mentioned the catcher, Ben BREIER. New Jersey, Massachusetts, New York, Utah, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Ohio, Washington State, Rhode Island.
I think that speaks well for the school, Frank.
Delaware? Yeah, it does. Maryland? How about that?
The last hitter, Messina, was enrolled in the Wharton School of Finance at the University of Pennsylvania, one of the top schools in the country.
Hain with a count of 2 strikes. Hits it in the air, right field, fairly deep. Hernandez is there, and that will retire the side. No runs, a base hit, the man left on in the middle of the 2nd inning. It's the Quakers nothing and the Canes nothing on Sports Channel. The latest collegiate baseball rankings. You see the University of Miami ranked number 8. And look who's in number 1, Florida State. Then Southern Cal, LSU, Stanford, Georgia Tech, Arizona State, Texas. Miami 8, then Oklahoma State and Wichita State. So the Canes are number 8. As Ron Fraser will tell you, the only time those rankings mean anything is on the last day of the season.
That's for sure. Maniac coming out, having a little fun with the nickname of the University of Pennsylvania Quakers. And I thought they were called Quackers, so he had some ducks out there. John Ruth, the Maniac, talking to him before the game. He said he's going to have a few things up his sleeve with the nickname.
Juan Yanes will lead off. The bottom half of the 2nd, takes a rip and fouls Whistler's first pitch away. Yanes hitting .378 with 12 ribbies in his last 37 at-bats. Hot stick right there. Curveball is bounced foul at 3rd. You talk about Whistler's fastball and the split finger. He throws a pretty good breaking pitch up there, too.
Well, that's the thing about the reputation of the University of Miami. We were talking a bit about it with Frazier before, that if an opponent comes in, plays one game against the university, they're going to throw their best pitcher and try and gauge themselves and see where they stack up against the University of Miami.
High fastball, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, I'm intrigued as you take a look at Frazier about the home plate umpire, your association with him in the major leagues. How many years was Maloney in the, you see Yanes swinging at a strike 3. How many years were you in the major leagues with Maloney?
You know, I couldn't tell you how many years.
I mean, was it 2 or 3? Or
no, he
was in there for a long time.
Yeah, he had a long career in the major leagues.
It didn't take much to call that pitch.
No, he called that one pretty easy. George and I were not great friends. I mean, I'd see him on the field.
Sure.
We would talk.
But he knew you, and you knew him.
Yeah, we didn't break bread together or anything like that.
How many years were you with the Yankees?
I was with the Yankees 18 years.
18 years.
Had 4 years with the Orioles and 2 with the White Sox.
24 years in all.
Yeah.
So you were in the big leagues longer than Maloney was.
Oh, yes, yes.
So you're a senior. So you got a right to...
to get on it?
Yeah.
That's what you're leading up to,
Yeah, that's what I was leading up to. I mean, come on.
Mike Tozar showing bunt. The count is 2 balls and a strike.
He obviously is living down here now.
Yes. Yeah, he lives right here in the Miami area, and as I mentioned, is superintendent of the South Florida Umpires Association, or commissioner of it, rather. Off the end of the bat, foul. I'll tell you, when I left home this afternoon, headed down to Coral Gables, Bob, I saw some awfully black clouds down this way. But thank goodness they moved away. At least they had gone when the last bit of daylight they had gone. Hope they don't come back for a while. 3-2 now to Tozar.
Tozar, one of 4 starters in the Hurricane lineup tonight from Columbus High School right here in Miami.
And a base hit for Tozar. He just laid the bat on that one with a count of 3-2. Tozar shortened up his swing and just laid the bat on it. Base hit number 2 for the Canes.
Tozar came in hitting .295. This may get him over 300. Slaps it right up the middle.
Should get him to 300 anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Miranda, the first baseman, batting .267. He's got a homer and 9 ribbies. Batting out of the number 7 spot.
I mentioned that Tozar was one of 4 starters out of Columbus. The man at the plate, Alex Miranda, is also played at Columbus, as did Fabregas and Luis Hernandez.
You know, you talked about the Quakers a while ago, Bob. You guess any school in the state of California that have the nerve to nickname themselves the Quakers?
Mm-hmm.
Any school located along the San Andrea Fault, for example?
The Quakes. Mm-hmm.
Foul ball. That scattered a few Hurricanes down there in the far end of the dugout.
Just looking down the baseball card here to see anybody else that were starters in local high schools. You got GINO DIMAREC, played at Westminster Christian. Anderson is from California. Giannis is from the state of Florida and New York. Went originally, but it was junior college down here in Florida. And Coleman is from California.
Okay. Oh, they got him picked off. And Tozar will be tagged out at second base by the shortstop, Trey McLeod. So they picked him clean. Scored 1-3-6. He might as well keep running right there. He's out in no man's land.
Just go ahead and maybe the throw will hit you in the back, but it was a good throw by the first baseman, Myers.
Well, that's so much easier a play to make for Myers, who is a left-hand thrower. And the Canes are gone as Miranda strikes out. 3 strikeouts now for Whistler. We've completed 2 innings. There is no score.
Susan has been kidnapped by her own father.
Hi, sweetie.
Hi, Daddy.
What'd you do today?
You know.
Huh?
Same thing I do every day.
This is like being in jail.
Over 90% of abducted children are taken by loving parents, convinced they're doing the right thing. If you're on the run and you're looking for a way out, call 1-800-A-WAY-OUT, a special hotline for people just like you. We're not the police or the government. You don't even have to tell us your name. We're just people who care and want to help.
Who are you talking to, Daddy?
A friend?
A good friend?
Just might be.
Calling this number doesn't obligate you in any way, but it could make all the difference in the world. Call 1-800-A-WAY-OUT.
The Heat is on Sports Channel. Friday at 7:30, the Miami Heat in Philadelphia to take on the 76ers. Tuesday at 8:30, Miami Heat in Milwaukee to play the Bucks. And Wednesday at 7:30, the Miami Heat and the Indiana Pacers in Indiana. Only on Sports Channel, home of the Heat. Check local listings for availability in your area. Trey McLeod, the shortstop, will lead off the top of the 3rd inning, scoreless ball game. McLeod, a 125.
Hi, I'm Mike Conley, 2-time champion of the Foot Locker Slam Fest. I'll be trying to regain my title here at halftime. Stay tuned.
Back here at St. John Arena, you know, they have 88 press box seats for the press in attendance. Well, today there's over 120 press in attendance, including the New York Times. And you can believe this, Keith Jackson and Dick Vitale, the Wall Street Journal. I'll tell you what, I always read the comics and the sports page in the Wall Street Journal.
Big business, Jack. Big business.
Jack jumps on that Wall Street Journal every day with his financial status. I can't spell Wall Street.
Nover is cut off by Robinson. A good defensive play by the big man. Cheney handling the ball outside. They go right back in there and got it this time.
Good two-man play. Good entry by Cheney. Cheney only has 2 fouls, Keith. He doesn't have 3. He's got 2.
36-36 ball game.
Look at Jackson handling. Wants to use the screen.
Hoosiers come out with it. Almost a treble. But Reynolds kept it. Ball is stolen by Jackson. Cheney will not risk the play.
He's got that great upper body strength. He overpowers people when he's driving to the basket. Jimmy Jackson.
Starting to run now as Nover charges.
Matt Nover getting involved in the offensive end of it, trying to finalize. They get him with a charge.
Nover with 3.
Bounce pass. Bailey gets the 45-degree angle. Look at Robinson. Robinson's right there on the money is the call by Randy Drury. Norm Ellenberger, former assistant to Don Haskins down at Texas El Paso. Look at the free throw line. Ohio State 10 for 12. Indiana only shooting 50%.
Robinson will go to the line.
Robinson played a lot more last year, not playing as many minutes this year, as Randy told us, because of the improved play of Treg Lee taking minutes away from Robinson. Look at that right there. Incredible stat that is. They made more than their people have attempted. They don't foul a great deal. That's another sign of being a good defensive team. Ohio State changing defenses. Now back into the man-to-man. Look at Robinson trying to play Cheney. Graham, too quick. Damon Bailey driving the lane, hanging in the air. That's like Bob Cousy, to run in one-hander with the knee up in the air. Ohio State trying to get their motion game, swinging it side to side.
Jackson short with a shot. That's Cheney. That's short. Jamal Brown back in, fresh after the rest. And that'll be a charge on Brown.
Chris Reynolds definitely planted both feet defensively. He was there. He had beaten the offensive player to the spot. Good call by Jim Bain. Jamal's out of control right here. There goes Brown. He's totally out of control. Reynolds is right there. Runs right over the top of him. See a Mark Baker on the floor right there. Trigger man knows how to handle the break. Would have been able to pull up, made the pass right and left.
Anderson left him alone, and he was nobody around him. He just knocked it down, and the Hoosiers go back to a 2-point lead.
He's a good jump shooter if he has the open shot. Came off a screen, squared his body, excellent release.
Chris Jent feeds inside for Treg Lee, and they lose it. But Robinson gets it back, and there's your foul on Chris Reynolds.
Reynolds is a tenacious performer. Look at the beautiful smile on him from out of Peoria, Illinois. Bobby Knight loves him because he has tenacity. Now watch this right here. Watch Reynolds get into the action. The ball comes loose. Robinson's going to pick it up. He thinks he's got a layup. But here comes Reynolds. No, you're going to the foul line, big fella.
first one.
Comes from a high school that's produced some outstanding players. Canton McKinley High School in Ohio. Phil Hubbard, Gary Grant, both played at Michigan.
They take the big man Lee out now and put Alex Davis back in, so they go for quickness at 1:39 to play in the first half, and Indiana leading by 2. There's Reynolds again.
That was Greg Graham right there. Quick rebounding Greg Graham, the slasher. Swing the ball side to side as part of their motion game. Lay some back screens.
Reynolds and Meeks out in front, and Graham fumbles it away on the baseline.
He got free off a back screen. The toughest screen in basketball, we've talked about it often, to defend is that back screen. It really is almost impossible to defend unless you switch on it.
Greg Graham is 20 for Indiana, and the ball eludes the grasp of Reynolds and goes out of bounds. So the Hoosiers turn it over. And that gets Bob up and walking the sidelines one more time.
He's Mr. Humble now, got into the Hall of Fame, and I was teasing him, stop being so humble. He said, hey, a coach gets in on the ability of his players. Player gets in because of his ability. I said, hey, you've done a heck of a job there. You deserve to be in. Should have been in on the first ballot.
Davis handling the ball with Jackson. Reynolds is on Jackson right now, but JJ's used up his dribble. Out of the corner, it's Skelton. That's short. Rebound by Greg Graham. And now he handles in backcourt. He's much quicker than Chris Gent. There's a walk. Got away with that one.
Oh, nice screen by Meeks. Bailey uses screens really well. Nobody used them better than Steve Alford when he played.
Ball's taken away from the big guy, Lawson.
Tough pass by Meeks. Really tough pass.
Maybe overpassed a bit in that possession.
Jackson wants to get into the lane.
Skelton, no.
Jackson created that shot. Davis, no. That would have counted.
And at halftime, Indiana leads by 2, 42-40 at St. John Arena in Columbus, Ohio.
ABC's College Basketball. Brought to you by the Dentist Choice for Fighting Cavities, Crest with Floristat, and by Catapult with the anti-fatigue rebound mechanism that you can actually feel from LA Gear. We'll be back after these messages and a word from our ABC stations.
All right, how many this time? 8 cavities. 14 cavities? I didn't think I had that many teeth. You're gonna have to drill? My parents will be very upset.
Parents today hope their kids won't have to go through what they went through. Luckily, today's kids use the toothpaste more dentists recommend, Crest. The first toothpaste clinically shown to give you protection down to the root of the tooth.
Another great checkup. Yes. Woo, woo, woo. Later, dude.
Crest, the dentist choice, is the easy choice.
It's been fun.
For years, you've depended on State Farm to insure your car. But did you know you can also depend on us to protect your family's future? State Farm. We sell life insurance. For years, you've depended on State Farm to insure your home. But did you know you can also depend on us to provide financial security for those you love? State Farm. We sell life insurance.
There's a level of service with which you're already quite familiar. Only now you can enjoy it at 35,000 feet. Delta's person-to-person service to over 270 cities worldwide. At Delta, we love to fly, and it shows.
The killer whale. Misunderstood mammals with brains more intricate than our own. Sensitive creatures that travel in close-knit families, each with its own complex dialect. Find out what you didn't know about this beautiful killer on World of Discovery, Sunday.
Just a liar. You always were a liar, Blanche. I didn't want to upset you.
Critics call it better than the original.
Jane Hudson deliberately tried to kill her sister Blanche.
A world television premiere, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, Sunday.
A big show is coming to town, and you may be able to get tickets, because from time to time, American Express reserves a block of good ones. Tickets for musicals, plays, even sporting events. Look for our ad in the paper, call us, order them, and you can pick them up right here. Only for very special events. And only for Gold Card members. The Gold Card, only from American Express. Don't leave home without it.
Monday, beginning at 5 on Channel 10 Eyewitness News. An update on latest events in the Persian Gulf. Then, your money's down for a condo in a major South Florida development. But suddenly, your dream home becomes a nightmare. Sandy Payton with a story. Lisa Petrillo introduces a skating champ gliding into South Florida with a slick new show. And on the health beat, Diana Gonzalez-Cerruti reports a new way to cover up an age-old problem. All Monday, beginning at 5 on Channel 10 Eyewitness News. Channel 10 salutes Black History Month.
From ABC News, this is a Gulf War update.
I'm Carol Simpson in Washington. Fighting along the Saudi-Kuwaiti border has intensified, with the Allies reporting 7 clashes since yesterday. 2 U.S. soldiers were killed and 6 wounded when a U.S. Apache helicopter mistakenly attacked their armored vehicles. The British military admitted today that a bomb dropped by a British jet last week went off course near the town of Fallujah, where Iraq claims more than 100 civilians were killed. This has been a Gulf War update.
The LA Gear College Basketball Report. Brought to you by Catapult, with the anti-fatigue rebound mechanism that you can actually feel from LA Gear. Now from our studio in New York, here's John Saunders.
Thank you, and welcome back to ABC's College Basketball. Yesterday in college basketball, the Utah Utes and Rick Majerus became one of the first schools in the nation to wrap up their conference championship for the regular season with a win over BYU in the WAC. Our Beth Ruyak is in Minneapolis covering the U.S. Figure Skating Championships, which you'll see later today on ABC Sports. And she joins us now with more on Majerus, how he's not only turned the program around, but his life as well. Beth.
Thanks, John. Rick Majerus told me that having only one senior on the team and a backcourt comprised of sophomores and freshmen isn't exactly conducive to a lot of tournament action. But after last night's big win against BYU, the Utes are on their way, and anyone who knows Rick Majerus isn't surprised.
All right, Call Radio, the Coach Rick Majerus Show. Lots of phone calls tonight. Thank you for your patience, and let's go to the phones once again. Good evening.
In Salt Lake City, this is one Rick Majerus show. But this is the one people get most excited about.
Come on, get out!
The intensity with which he teaches basketball, particularly defense, has made Coach Majerus a winner, first at Marquette, then Ball State, and now Utah. And there was one year in the NBA with the Milwaukee Bucks.
Some people say if you had continued coaching in the East, that your legend may have become among the biggest in college basketball. Do you agree with that?
I don't agree with that. I think my eating exploits are legendary throughout the country. I mean, I can tell you restaurants from San Diego to Maine where I'm on the wall and guys rush up to greet me more warmly than any royalty.
He might joke a lot, but Majerus has been running and losing weight since doctors performed a 7-way bypass operation on him early last season.
I'm really in rather good condition. Now, I don't think I could run a triathlon, you know, nor am I a threat to win any Ironman contest, but I guess it's the type of thing where I think, first of all, I'm kind of big, and I think, secondly, if you'd ask me what I would like to do best, it'd be to sit around with a group of friends, have a great conversation, and eat terrific food, and just laugh and talk.
And yet players will say Majerus on court is still as intense as ever.
Everybody does what he says, but he still gets on you. I mean, if you make a mistake, I mean, it's just like you just made one of the worst mistakes in the world when he gets on you, and you just don't want to make that same mistake. You don't want to do nothing twice to Coach Majerus.
They've said a lot that teams reflect their coach, and you know, when we play defense, you know, we've been playing some good defense, and that's what's won us a lot of these games. And a lot of it is because Coach Majerus is so intense that rubs off on us.
We were in that winning streak. I told people it's not important that we win. I have a heart surgeon, Kent Jones. It's important he wins, and I'd like to see Schwarzkopf win, or You know, I mean, you know, if we lose and we try to win, you know, that's what the college experience is all about.
This has been the LA Gear College Basketball Report, brought to you by Catapult, with the anti-fatigue rebound mechanism that you can actually feel from LA Gear.
Everything else is just hot air.
Sharp.
To stay #1 in facts demands a whole new level of thinking.
Sharp thinking about business.
Sharp thinking led to breakthroughs like the world's first desktop full-color fax, adding new dimensions to the way you'll do business.
Sharp thinking.
It's created a complete line of plain paper fax that produce permanent laser-printed documents of unsurpassed quality. Sharp fax, #1 in America. Because the way to meet new business needs with new technology is...
Sharp thinking about business.
Head and Shoulders for my serious dandruff? Blue is better. Extra medicated Selsun Blue.
With a medicine doctors recommend most. Medicine that relieves flaking better than Head and Shoulders.
Blue is better.
Selsun Blue, doctor recommended #1.
If you buy at least 10 rolls of Owens Corning Think Insulation, R13 or higher, you can get a free NBA team travel bag. Choose your favorite team. Offer ends March 3rd.
Get your little behind in there.
All over the world, there's a ritual that takes place right before bedtime.
And don't forget to wash behind your ears.
And for over 35 years, one faucet has helped more kids get away with it.
And you two better be clean.
Or not. Delta, the way water is brought to life.
Saturday, the world's top seniors tee off in the Chrysler Cup, followed by the Professional Bowlers Tour. Then, on ABC's Wide World of Sports, their unique artistry is unparalleled in the world of skating. Now, Brian Boitano, Torvill Dean, Rosalind Sumners, Brian Orser, and Elizabeth Manley are among an all-star cast in a special performance from Barcelona. It's the grand finale of the NutraSweet World Challenge of Champions. It's all Saturday on ABC Sports.
Welcome back to our ABC College Basketball Studios in New York. I'm John Saunders. It's time now for this week's edition of the Foot Locker Slam Fest. Joining me with the call, Jim Valvano and Dick Vitale. Quarterfinal coverage of the Foot Locker Slam Fest continues. In this quarterfinal round, Mike Conley faces Eric McMillan. Dick?
That's the view from the overhead camera. And Eric McMillan, a defensive back, and Mike Conley, the triple jumper. They play above the rim. They're Skywalkers. Take a look right now. Mr. Conley looking for some support. He looks at his family. There's his wife, Regina, and his little boy, Michael. He says, I got to really do it for them. I got to get the $50,000. Let's take a look at this dunk. Here he goes. A reverse spread eagle, a jam. A little Baryshnikov in shorts. Then it's a sixth dunk. And she says, that's my guy, Michael. That's a 10, baby. That's a 10. Hey, this has got a lot of grace to it. Look at the great view, the tremendous hang time. Just great balance by Mr. Conley.
Conley looking for the 10, his wife looking for the 10, but the 9-9 as close as they will get, Jim Valvano, but pretty good putting the pressure on McMillan.
If I'm Eric McMillan, I might be intimidated. The two-time defending champion. And look at that dunk! I've seen that before. He did it right-handed earlier in the competition, now left-handed. The man is ambidextrous. Hey, that's an awfully impressive dunk.
9.9, that's too high. Not as good as the other dog. She loves it, though. That's his girlfriend. I'll tell you one thing, McMillan is impressive. Here goes Mr. Conley, his second attempt. He's trying for the 10. Oh, he's in trouble now. All Mr. McMillan has to do is just dunk the ball, and it's all over for Mr. Conley. See, he loses the handle right here. He loses control. He's flying through the sky. He loses control, and he comes up empty.
You know, Dick, a lot of times, should you dribble the ball or not? There's the guy who sprinted the whole court. Now all McMillan has to do is go up an easy dunk and he's got the victory.
The crowd doesn't like it that he took the conservative route, but you know what? That's the intelligent way to go.
The obvious disappointment is the two-time champ is a loser. McMillan advances next week. Deion Sanders and Jack Armstrong. That's next week. Meantime, today in college basketball in the SEC, Alabama with a 2-point halftime lead over LSU. LSU's 3 of 12 from the free throw line. Texas and Houston, they were tied at halftime. Right now, it's a 1-point game. We continue after these messages and a word from our stations.
The rod and roll. Behold the Sherman Shuffle.
The buck and wing.
Nike.
Foot Locker. Take a lesson. Tango.
Nike. At Foot Locker, where it all begins. Did you know, if your business doesn't use AT&T 800 service, it takes over 35% longer for your customers' calls to connect.
Now you don't really want me, but you keep me hanging up. You don't really need me, but you keep me hanging up.
The longer your customers wait, the more they may hang up, and that can cost you business. Faster 800 connections, another AT&T advantage.
Today, a guy losing his hair can choose between being the man he wants to be
We look great with hair. Do something to save it.
and the man he could become.
Can't you accept nature like everyone else?
Doctors have hair loss treatment programs that are proven to work, and the sooner you see a doctor, the better.
We don't want nature. We want hair.
When you've considered the arguments,
We might look great bald.
and you decide you want hair, there's only one thing to do. See your doctor, or call this number for more information.
Submitted for your approval. Pet owners who've entered the silly zone, separated at birth, or victims of America's funniest home videos. Then
meet twisted individuals who'll do anything for a laugh on America's Funniest People Sunday.
Wednesday, Columbo matches wits.
He was murdered, all right.
Against a television host with a past.
He did a porno? I think you're on to something, Lieutenant.
George Hamilton stars with Peter Falk in a Columbo movie special. Caution, murder can be hazardous to your health. Wednesday.
Your flight was canceled. We changed it. You needed cash. We arranged it. You wanted a summary of your expenses. We provided it. You used to travel without the gold card. Now, you couldn't imagine it. The gold card. Only from American Express. Don't leave home without it.
Be smart, street smart, listen.
If the doorbell rings and it's no one you know, don't open the door, just let them go. Cause on the streets there is a lot of danger. Keep in mind, take nothing from a stranger. Know your address and phone number. These are things you should remember. Then if you get lost and all alone, the man in blue will take you home.
Be smart, street smart, listen. Street smart, be smart.
ABC's College Basketball. Brought to you by Delta Airlines. We love to fly, and it shows. And by Foot Locker, America's most complete athletic footwear store, where it all begins.
Our score at halftime, Indiana leading 42-40, a far different story than what you had up at Bloomington when these two teams played their first game.
Well, certainly a difference in terms of Indiana being down 19 in that game at halftime, falling behind by 22. But they shot the ball exceptionally well here in the first half. Really shot the ball brilliantly. 63% from the field when you're talking about 17 for 27, shooting 54 for the season. Ohio State shot it really well, 50%. And we look here at the rebound totals, the edge to Ohio State. Turnovers basically equal. I mean, the free throw line certainly gave Ohio State the edge, but the big question mark is Mr. Baker.
He's not going to play, I don't think.
Well, I'll tell you, he didn't look good at all in the warm-up when I was watching him. He had an air cast on his foot, trying to see whether or not he had any mobility, and he looked like he really was struggling. Paul Brazo sitting to the left, the assistant coach. Take a look at the game summary, the changes.
So Jackson will bring it into play for Ohio State with Chris Gent, Perry Carter, Treg Lee, and Jamal Brown on the court in the white shirts. Perry Carter takes it to the hole, and we are tied.
He has to touch the ball a lot more. He really makes good things happen when he gets it. He's touched the ball 4 times. He's had 4 baskets.
Indiana has Jamal Meeks, Eric Anderson, Damon Bailey, Matt Nover, and Cal Chaney.
Watch Indiana without the basketball.
Chaney missing. Anderson rebound.
They got to get some touches to Anderson on the inside as well.
Well, you had the leading scorers, your matchup of Jackson and Chaney. It was 14 and 15 points respectively, so they're doing what everybody thought they were going to do. Well, that's dominating play.
That's a given. You expect those two to perform, especially in the big game.
Meeks on the baseline, tries to reverse it, can't get it. Buckeyes rebound it, tied at 42. And here comes Brown losing the ball.
He's playing out of control. That's the second time he's lost the ball in transition.
Chaney against Jackson.
Nover's been big inside. Had 4 big buckets in that first half.
Nover's inside with Brown on him. That's a mismatch, favor of Nover. That's Anderson missing, and rebound Jackson.
Anderson, perimeter skills, but has to get inside a little bit more with his back to the basket. Jackson's so smooth, Keith. He's so smooth.
In the corner, Jackson threw it away.
Well, he was anticipating Gent moving into the open spot. Tried to throw the ball right over the top of the defense. Randy Ayers doing a little coaching with Jim Bain.
Anderson lobs it in for Damon Bailey.
That's their 55 pressure, they call it, which 5 means that you pick up full court, and the second 5 means the zone press.
Chaney pops. Good.
That's high percentage offense. Take the ball, go into the lane, square your body with that little release. Chaney matched up on Jackson. See, Indiana can get help from that angle.
Lee can't get away from Anderson. Jackson he was indecisive about the play. Tried to pass it. Now he forces it. Now he gets it.
I'll tell you one thing. Those baskets on that end of the floor are big as the Atlantic Ocean. They're very soft.
Ball is slapped out of there, but it goes right to Jamal Weeks. And Meeks watches as Anderson's shot bounces off. And Jamal is back in time to cut down the Ohio State break. To get it to Carter.
Great look by Jimmy Jackson. Notice how he pulled up at the foul line, which is the place you want your point guard to pull up at.
Easy one for Nover.
Well, that's the way to finalize against the trap. 3-on-1. Good look right there by Meeks.
We're tied at 46.
Look at Jackson hooked up with Chaney, 2 of the best second-year players in America, right here with the ball. He says, no, Chaney, you can't check me. Oh, that's a walk.
That's the travel. Here's Jackaroot as Mark Baker comes into the ball game.
And Keith, let me show you what may be helping Mark Baker coming into the game. It's this inflatable splint right here. It's Velcro attached. He's got it on his sore ankle. I checked with the trainer. He said he was doubtful, but this might help him play the rest of the game.
Brown, who has not had a good day, is out. Jamie Skelton is also in for Ohio State.
Skelton very quick. I'll tell you, I'm surprised seeing Baker on the floor after the way we watched him warm up. He was struggling in that warm-up.
They've got Jackson out of the ball game right now. Here's a whistle and a foul on Chris Gent. Jackson for a breather, Brown for a breather, and some extra coaching because he has not been able to unwind today.
He's been up and down. Had a big game against Wisconsin, had 14 big points. But prior to that, he was really struggling shooting the ball.
Baker playing on one leg and maybe a half. Not whole at all. Especially against a guy like Meeks, but Meeks picked up his dribble. He had no place to go.
Notice Meeks laying that screen. They like to pass, go away, and screen.
Bailey gets into the paint and scores.
Does he ever take a bad shot? It seems every shot he takes is the high percentage shot.
Plays very quietly, doesn't he?
He does. Nothing spectacular. But check his numbers per minute.
Very bounce pass on the baseline for Carter.
They have found Mr. Carter today. Another possession, another touch, another deuce.
14 points for Carter.
That's amazing.
See, here's Meeks just blows right by Baker. I mean, there's no way Baker plays with him. And Chris Gent goes crashing into the press table down the side of the court. But he's all right. He hit hard, and he's lucky to walk away. We've got 15:46 to go, and we're tied at 48.
I've been working for Calumet Farm, soon to be 49 years. I've worked for some famous horses.
What gives a certain group of people the ability to consistently do the impossible? Take Calumet Farm. No other farm has ever dominated horse racing like Calumet. Whirlaway, Citation, Aladar. It would take a winner's circle as big as Kentucky to do justice to this amazing stable. When excellence becomes a tradition, there's no end to the greatness, and it doesn't happen only in horse racing. In the auto industry, Ford Motor Company has continually been a leader in innovation, and there's much more to come. Our new modular V8 represents a dramatic improvement in both efficiency and performance. And our new Crown Victoria and Grand Marquis are redefining the concept of luxury ride and handling. America fell in love with Ford in the 80s. And smart money will tell you, we're going to be even tougher to beat in the 90s. Ford Motor Company.
Save some big ones right now at Sears. This Craftsman half-horsepower garage door opener is on sale for just $158, and the Zenith 19-inch TV is only $277. Sears President's Day sale. Better hurry.
3 hours. What are you doing? Timing tiny time pills this morning. So I took a contact. It works 12 hours. 8 hours. Oh, if you're going to time these tiny time pills all day, when are you going to do the work? Got 4 more hours.
There's a whole day's work in every contact.
National Powers take the court as 5th-ranked Duke takes on number 6 Arizona, or Michigan meets 4th-ranked Indiana. It's ABC's college basketball next Sunday.
On behalf of the folks at Arkansas that you picked to beat UNLV, here is the Order of Le Sanglier, a hog hat.
Hey, I'm being set up right here. I think, personally, Arkansas should be 1.5 for being able to beat Vegas for a half.
Well, all you have to do is learn to call the hogs now. You know how?
Ooh. No, not really.
You're a pig. Suey.
Big Suey. One of my favorite chants, along with Rock Chalk J. Hawk out of Kansas, and I love the one at Austin P. Let's go P. Let's go P.
Well, Le Sanglier means wild boar. Wild boar in Arkansas is a razorback. But you should know that hunting season is not over till the end of March, so be careful.
I'm not a hunter, though. There's that high screen up on top.
Brown back in the ball game for Ohio State. Skelton stays in.
Indiana likes to switch on the ball up on top, trying to get in the passing lane for a steal.
Baker is out of the game, as you would expect, with that very, very tender ankle.
That was an excellent drive by Chris Gent, along with Ron Urey, Richie Farmer, Elmore Spencer, some of the better 6 men in college basketball.
Skelton is getting a lot of playing time today. Cheney's shot over Gent is good.
Calvert Cheney, CC, can shoot the rock. He can handle it. He's having a great season. Player of the year is going to be either Jackson or Cheney, whoever wins the Big Ten. I thought it'd be Steve Smith, but Michigan State has been such a major disappointment this year.
Gent off the baseline.
He had a big game against Michigan Monday, came in and hit like 4 quick baskets.
Well, they got the matchup they wanted. They had Meeks covering Gent. He's not big enough.
Yeah, too much size.
Anderson gets loose, and there's a foul on Carter.
Perry Carter, the enforcer. Look at that body. I was teasing him yesterday. I said, Perry, get ready for the NFL. 3rd foul on Carter.
Brown's got 3. Carter's got 3.
Anderson spots an opening in the defense, comes over, and there's Carter. I mean, Carter says, no way, you're going to the line.
Chris Reynolds is back in for IU, replacing Meeks.
I really believe the winner of the Big Ten automatically gets a #1 seed, and the team that wins here is really in great shape. Big Ten is not vintage Big Ten. We talked about it yesterday at our production meeting as Anderson makes the free throw. Right now, you have basically, I think, 4 teams that'll get in a big dance, Iowa and also Michigan State. But last year, you had 7. You had 7 out of this conference.
Anderson makes both the free throws to tie the game again. Gent and Brown are out in front. That's Skelton. Sharp pass inside to Jackson, who goes back to what amounts to a swing position right now.
Yeah, he can swing and play 3 positions on the floor. He can play the small forward position, the point guard slot, or the #2 guard slot.
Coming into the game, these 2 teams were 2 and 4. Next week, we're going to see Duke at Arizona with the Arizona home winning streak alive.
59 in a row. That's an amazing accomplishment.
The big people working hard inside. Skelton can't find daylight, and under the pressure, travel.
Randy Drury says Jamie picks up his pivot foot.
We've had a lot of traveling called in this game.
Well, there's been a lot of traveling calls all year long in college basketball.
Anderson, good move. Won't go down. Rebound, Skelton cuts it off outside.
Skelton getting a lot of PT, a lot of playing time.
Jackson's been pretty quiet for the last 3 minutes.
Reynolds loves defense. Watch Reynolds trying to check up on Jackson.
Jackson got loose.
He really did. He was playing him for the drive, and he gave him the open jumper. And that's part of their offensive set.
Crowd's back in it as Bailey goes to the baseline. Number 20 is Greg Graham. Bailey's inside.
Ball movement, like to swing the ball side to side.
Cheney is being guarded by Chris Gent right now. Anderson got it.
Good touch, good ball movement, used the entire shot clock, got the ball into the hands of Anderson, an excellent shooter.
Anderson has 9 points.
Look at Ohio State, 7 for 7. That's in the Hall of Fame in baseball. Some of these guys getting $3 million to hit 209.
Without Baker, they need it. Another travel.
Randy Ayers, one of the amazing stories in college basketball. 34 years of age, coaching against all the giants. Really struggled a little bit out of the gate last year, and it could have been a crisis time, but he rose above it and really had his team respond in the second half of the season.
Reynolds handling the ball. Good pass inside to Bailey by Graham. Good shot, Bailey.
Again, another high percentage shot. Offensive efficiency. That's why they shoot 54% as a team.
Hoosiers go back to the lead, and inside whistle and a foul on the baseline on the drive by the Buckeyes.
What makes Damon Bailey so special, Keith, is his exceptional ability to read the defenses and move without the basketball. He's getting better and better from the start of the season.
The 2 big men for IU now have 3 personals, Nober and Anderson.
Bailey's at 14 already, a very quiet 14. Oh, that's a charge.
No.
Oh, they get a block.
Block. That's a little acting job by Reynolds.
I don't know. I thought he beat him to the spot. Bobby Knight loves the defensive ability of Reynolds. He talks about him in his same... Watch this right here. I think he beats him to the spot. I think he beats him to the spot.
Maybe if he'd have been less flamboyant.
Yeah, that's it. I like that word, flamboyant.
In his thespianship.
If he was a little bit more low-keyed like I am, very low-keyed, sat back, see that? He would not have had that call.
Bad shot. Just barely got iron, but the Buckeyes keep it. Lee's back in. Robinson, the big man, is in, the 7-footer. Pass is off the hands of Skelton. Damon Bailey. He's faster than he looks.
Nothing flashy, but just getting the job done, anticipating well. Led his high school to the state championship last year in dramatic style. 40,000 people at the Hoosier Dome.
Hoosiers lead by 4 at 58-54. Jamal Brown finally is heard from.
Where have you been, JB? Jamal Brown hits the jumper.
He was active early on, but he's been quiet a long time. He now has 9. This is Cheney. Won't go down. Rebounded by Jackson. He loses the ball.
Patience, poise, back the ball up, get into your offense.
Damon Bailey banged his head on the floor. He's walking around holding it, and Jody Sylvester is called a timeout to check and see if he's all right.
Jody Sylvester, one of the best zebras in all of basketball.
Greg Graham, the man that picked the pocket of Ohio State on that last possession.
From the Far East to Europe. Across the Caribbean and throughout North America, only one airline covers so much of the world with so much warmth.
Everything else is just hot air.
Why does a man have to do what a man has to do?
2, 3, 4.
Try Bud Dry. Cold filtered for smooth draft taste. Dry brewed for no aftertaste. Refreshing proof that men still know what they're doing.
America's top male skaters compete for the gold at the U.S. Figure Skating Championships, presented by Diet Sprite and NutraSweet. Live next on ABC Sports.
There have been several tense moments in this season for both these teams. Last Thursday night up at Wisconsin for Ohio State. It was Mark Baker who made the winning basket, but he is not around today. Sprained ankle.
Tough loss. He's that catalyst, the little point guard, even though they're playing well without him.
Greg Graham takes it inside among the trees and gets a foul out of it.
Foul on 34, Treg Lee.
That's Treg Lee's 3rd personal.
Treg Lee has really become a force on that baseline. You know, Keith, when you think about a star player going to the sideline like Baker, in the short haul, you could sometimes make up for his loss or for the fact that he's been injured. It's the long haul when you look at the entire season where you miss a guy of that kind of ability.
Graham makes 2, and Indiana equals its biggest lead in the second half, 4 points.
See, right now, Brown handling the ball is not a point guard. He's a second guard.
Next Saturday on ABC Sports, Lee Trevino leads the U.S. senior team against the international squad in the Chrysler Cup golf competition at 1 Eastern and Pacific, 12 Central Time.
Jimmy Jackson shows again versatility with a capital V. He says, I can play on a perimeter. Now watch me post up down in the boxes.
Right back Indiana. Graham can't get it. Tipped up once, no, and loose. Brown with it. Got a 3-on-2. And fumbled by Carter. Stolen by Meeks, and the Hoosiers come back.
Jackson, not a good decision. He had Treg Lee for the jam if he would have looked to the right.
Said their point guard's on the bench, and the Hoosiers throw it away.
Bobby's got to be upset with that play by Meeks, pulling up on his dribble, not keeping his dribble. Look at the general coaching on that sideline. Remember, he's a graduate of Ohio State, a Buckeye, 1960, 61, 62 on those great Fred Taylor teams.
I wonder who the guy was in the Wake Forest Demon Deacon uniform that tried to join the line for the warm-up and Knight punched him. Tipped in by Jackson.
Jackson shows he can post up. Now he shows he can go to the offensive board to the tip. Randy says, that's my man, JJ.
We're tied at 60.
He loves playing at the end of the game.
Baylor's shot deflected out of bounds.
One of the reasons they go to the free throw line so often, Indiana, is they're constantly driving the ball at the defense. Like the previous possession. Take a look at Bailey. Constantly taking the ball at the defense, trying to force the foul, create the opportunity.
Gent's done a pretty good job on Chaney up to now, but Chaney just absolutely scrubbed him off on a screen and went in unmolested.
And I love the way he bounces right off the floor. He's got that quick move to the goal.
Hoosiers back to the lead by 2 inside Jackson. Got a roll.
That's just smart basketball. Meeks can't handle him. That's an M&M, and that's a mismatch down in the boxes. I love the intensity, the way Gent plays.
Chaney gets free again.
Calvert Chaney and Jimmy Jackson. Are they shooting for the goal? They are shooting for that Player of the Year award in this conference.
Harry Carter was unwilling to go out and pick him up. Now Carter comes out to the top of the key and pops one through there. So that gives him 16 big points.
And almost every time Carter has touched the ball, he has scored. Look at that.
Chaney and Gent.
That's what John Cooper needs in a Buckeye football uniform. Guys that are going to scrap and hustle like Mr. Gent.
Crowd loves it.
Nothing like scraping your knees. Look at number 21. He says, I'm getting it. Chaney says, I'm going after it too. Look at him. You got to love that as a coach. Becomes so contagious to everybody else.
It'll be Indiana ball at midcourt. Bailey, Meek, Chaney, Anderson, Nova on the floor for the Hoosiers.
Meeks normally doesn't turn the ball over.
Chaney is cut off by Jackson. Shoots over Gent, rolls off. Nova rebounds it. Out of bounds, no. Saved by Carter.
Look at the cockiness and the confidence when Jackson has the ball.
Brown. Buckeyes back to the lead by 3.
They need that perimeter shot, Keith.
Anderson
silences the crowd with that little jumper from 15. Good execution.
Gent was wide open, didn't take it. Carter inside against Chaney, short with it. There's a whistle and there's a foul.
Foul on Carter, pushing off, trying to get position.
That hurts him. That's 4.
That's the only time, Keith, that he received the ball down low and touched it, that he didn't score or go to the foul line.
We'll be back with more after this message and a word from our ABC station.
Flying from the top of the key is easy. It's the landings that kill your feet. That's why I fly with the pump from Reebok. When I pump up, my size 13s get support, protection, and a custom fit. So, Michael, my man, if you want to fly first class, pump up and air out.
Switch to the greatest sports performance shoe in the world, the Reebok Pump. Pump up and air out.
America's watching ABC.
This is a long way from downtown Chicago. Riding mass transit, working late every night. You finally got the raise that got you the gold card, that got you the phone number, that arranges your weekends wherever you want them. But you always want them in Montana. The Gold Card, only from American Express. Don't leave home without it.
South Florida's choice for news at 5:30. The one and only eyewitness news team. Terry Merriam, experienced, a compassionate side to hard news. Diane Magnum, distinctive insight from a South Florida native. Todd Tungan, weather with a lively approach from your part of South Florida. Lisa Petrillo, your link to the stars and world of entertainment. Frank Fort, sports with style. The one and only eyewitness news team. South Florida's choice at 5:30. Channel 10 salutes Black History Month.
Bedlam in Old St. John opened in 1956. Been some great players go through this old building, but these two youngsters may eventuate into greatness themselves.
I think Jimmy Jackson's going to be such an outstanding pro player. I really believe that he should stay in school, that he, Shaquille O'Neal, and also Alonzo Mourning, if he stays in school, will be three of the guys that will be picked for that Olympic team to join the 9 NBA players. And congratulations to Chuck Daly. Great choice.
Anderson over Brandewey into the ball game. Brandewey is in there to help out a little bit because Carter's got 4 personal fouls.
Yeah, they're trying to steal some minutes now by placing Carter on the bench, and they went right at Brandewey to go right to Mr. Anderson.
Hoosiers back to the lead by 1, 68-67.
Inside, outside, dump it down to the post, look back to the outside.
Jackson is right between the two big men, and Nover nor Anderson could handle him.
Jackson is like unstoppable once he gets the ball in that area of the floor because of that tremendous strength of that body.
Chaney reaching in is hit with the personal foul. That's his 3rd.
Texas really struggling against Houston right now. Tom Pender's club. He really was a teaser, this guy Jackson, to his coach Randy Ayers. As you look at Perry Carter, when it was time to sign out of high school, he called up Randy. He says, "Randy, I made my decision. I'm ready." He says, "I'm ready to go to Syracuse." He says, "What? Syracuse? Give me a break." He said, "I'm only teasing you. Don't get nervous." So I'm out of Toledo, Ohio. See, Leaks is picking up that dribble, and it's causing him problems. They can play off him, too. He's no threat to shoot the ball from outside. But that's what he does well. Play to your strength. That's Mr. Knight's philosophy. Play to your strength. Dribble penetration, an area that's really been hurting Ohio State in the last week.
70-69, 1-point lead, Indiana. Randy Ayers running out of chips now. He doesn't have the full board to play like Bob Knight does. He doesn't have all of his players at hand because of the injury to Mark Baker.
And also the foul trouble with Carter.
Here comes Bailey on the rebound. All the way.
That was a great drive. And what made it so special for you young people out there, he cut off the defensive player on a straight line rather than flare out wide so the defensive player can adjust.
Bailey has 18 points now.
Is he a man now? Is he becoming an outstanding player? Every week getting better and better, Damon Bailey.
Ball slapped loose by Nover and a foul.
For you young people, watch Damon Bailey right now cut off the defensive player. See this right here? He cuts him off. He seals him off on that angle to the basket. Most guys would have went a little wider, and they would have been able to recover and play him.
That's 4 personal fouls on Matt Nover now. So we've got a big man on each side in foul trouble.
Nover's a little bit more replaceable in the corner. In terms of looking at Indiana's personnel and looking at Ohio State's personnel.
Well, Nover in the ball game shows 10 points. Carter, 16.
He's played well, but they have people that can replace him. Where at Ohio State, they can't really get a guy to replace quarter in terms of his body strength alone.
Skelton replaces Brown for the Buckeyes.
He gives him that certain physical presence.
Bailey checked by Brandewick. Inside pass to Anderson, bounce pass to Nober, rolls loose, and is picked up by Cheney, and Cheney is fouled by Gent.
Cheney's been consistent in this game. In game one, had a very, very weak first half and a brilliant second half. Right now, look at these averages right here. You talk about freshmen stepping in. We look here, points per game. Incredible. Impressive names there. The little guy, Isaiah Thomas, on the bottom. Led him to that national championship in '81.
2-point lead Indiana at 73-71.
You know, last year you had Michigan State overachieving. Judd Heathcote's team surprised everyone and won the Big Ten championship. This year expectations, and they really have, and Judd would be the first to tell you, they have been a major disappointment. Some people had them even rated not only in the top 5, there was a publication had them #1 in the nation.
Jackson goes one-on-one with Cheney, winds up losing the ball, but it's kicked back for Skelton's try. Look at Jackson banging inside.
Look at Gento hustle.
Gent takes it outside.
Good move by Gent to bring the ball back outside.
Coming up on 4.5 minutes to play in the ball game.
And this is called Jackson time. This is where he wants the ball. Cheney says, no, come on, don't call that.
4 personal fouls, 4 on Cheney.
They nail him for a little grab. He said all game long, we're physical. Bobby looks like he's bored with the whole thing.
Carter comes back now.
Look at Cheney trying to get over the top. Here he is now. Oh, see, as soon as he reached in, and then a little bump. I think he got him for reaching in.
I think he had him by the shirt, too, as he was, Jackson was trying to get away from him.
Decision time right now for Bobby. Do you leave Cheney on the floor and take him out with 4:31 on the clock? I'd leave him on the floor.
Ball still being batted around and finally rescued by Craig Lee.
You're away from home. You're up 3, 4 minutes and change. I would leave him on the floor. If you do change, then substitute in terms of offense and defense and get him on for offense.
The Hoosiers leading by 3.
Yo, this is the Mullen Mambo. Behold, the Sherman Shuffle. Hey, the oak tree. Nike, Foot Locker. Take a lesson. The polka?
Nike at Foot Locker, where it all begins.
So, how's it looking there? Really, sorry to hear that. I'm into, but I just been very busy. I've been brushing, but just not with Tartar Control Crest.
Tartar Control Crest helps stop tartar where it starts. It penetrates plaque before it hardens for easier cleanings, and more dentists recommend it.
That was easy. You know, I've been using a Tartar Control Crest.
The dentist's choice is the easy choice.
Ever hear this stuff?
For years, you've depended on State Farm to insure your car. But did you know you can also depend on us to protect your family's future? State Farm. We sell life insurance. For years, you've depended on State Farm to insure your home. But did you know you can also depend on us to provide financial security for those you love? State Farm. We sell life insurance.
National Powers take the court as 5th-ranked Duke takes on number 6 Arizona, or Michigan meets 4th-ranked Indiana. It's ABC's college basketball next Sunday.
Tonight, a new version of a movie classic, Vanessa Redgrave and Lynn Redgrave starring in the world premiere, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane? ABC Sunday night movie tonight at 9, 8 Central.
They took Cheney out for defense. Rick Graham on the floor.
Graham just got whacked in the thigh as he ran into a pick, having trouble running.
Chris Gent gets called for the bump on Jamal Meeks.
Greg Graham is limping badly and holding his left knee now as he ran into the pick man. He will hurt himself. trying to walk it off. He won't be able to. He's going to have to come out of the ball game. It's holding his knee.
Brings Calvert Chaney back on. He's a slasher, outstanding sixth man, gives him some more offensive productivity. His minutes have been diminished a little because they want him to improve his ball handling skills.
Damon Bailey is out in front now with Jamal Brown checking him. 74-71 Indiana. 4 minutes to play in the game at St. John Arena in Columbus, Ohio.
Jen against Chaney defensively. There he is in a one-on-one situation. They try to clear the side.
Gent against him, and he got it. Big bucket.
That was a big-time move. He tried to lean in and also get the foul. That's why he's a PTP, or a prime-time performer.
And gives them a 5-point lead.
See, here's where the Jacksons and Cheneys want the ball. Great help defensively by Meeks to take away his driving angle.
Chris Gent misses. Rebound, Nover.
That's why Nover's getting a lot more PT playing time. He's rebounding.
Carter is in, but he's got 4 fouls.
Big possession right now. Ohio State needs a defensive stop. This is a big, big possession. I would go to Anderson. I'd go to Anderson. Slide inside. Go to Anderson.
Bailey's outside now, handling the ball. Meeks. Chaney against Gent. Inside, Anderson against Carter, and it's off Anderson.
Well, they went to the guy that I would have went to as well, Keith, but they caused the deflection. Bobby saying, settle down. That was a big stop by the Buckeyes. Big stop.
5-point lead, Hoosiers.
And now you know who's going to touch the ball here. This is his time. He loves this time of the game.
2.5 minutes to play in the ball game. Coming up as Brown handles outside. Jackson fouled by Damon Bailey.
Bailey didn't have to check anybody in high school last year like Mr. Jackson.
Late getting to it. And the clock stops at 2:26.
So impressive yesterday at practice, watching Randy Ayers conduct the practice. Gives so much credit to Gary Williams. He said, I don't know where I'd have been without learning so much from Gary in the tenure I served under him.
He's put Skelton back in and taken Tregley out for a moment. That's quickness for size.
Always thinking. Going to tie his career high now. He's got 28, shooting for 29.
Missed it. Anderson rebounds it, and Meeks will bring it up.
Meeks being played by Jackson, trying to bother him with his size.
Skelton is out to check Bailey. But Bailey's loose from him and comes out to call time. And the Hoosiers will talk now at 2 minutes and 8 seconds to go in the game, and IU leading Ohio State by 4.
Hi, I'm Martin Mull. Did you know that 75% of the time spent in a hotel room is with the lights off? Sleeping. So why check into a $60 a night motel when you can get a room at a Red Roof Inn like this? Every bit is clean, every bit is comfortable, and yes, every bit is dark for about $30 less.
Next time, hit the roof. Red Roof Inns. Call 1-800-THE-ROOF.
You can stay at the Ritz, and it doesn't get any darker than this.
Did you know if you're not using the AT&T network, your company waits over 40% longer for long-distance calls to connect?
I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour when there's no one else around. I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour.
Without AT&T, in 1 year, you may end up paying people thousands of dollars to wait.
I'm gonna wait till the
Faster connections, another AT&T advantage.
You've had 17 ties, 14 lead changes. IU with 2 timeouts remaining, Ohio State with 1. There's the rest of the reset story for you. Team fouls, edge right now to the Buckeyes.
The only other loss for Indiana, they lost to Ohio State. Randy Ayers beat them, but they also lost to Syracuse up at the Maui Classic. Syracuse playing outstanding ball this year. Don't have a lot of depth.
Here's Jack.
We checked in with Randy Ayers, and during that timeout, he really didn't spend a lot of time diagramming plays. He just talked to his players and said, gentlemen, you got to have confidence in yourself right now. Have a lot of confidence and we can win.
Poise.
So that's the good look. I would dump it inside. They're using the whole shot clock.
Cheney loses the ball. They defended him well. Meeks goes inside. He loses the ball.
Totally out of control.
Might have been a foul there that wasn't called in the melee, but it's easy to miss it when there are that many arms flailing.
Jamal a little bit out of control, Keith.
See right now how big that was. Now what happens here determines it.
They got their defensive stoppers on the floor now with Reynolds and Meeks, two really tough guys who put pressure on the basketball.
Reynolds, great leaper. You saw him just a moment ago bat it back. Here's Jackson against Meeks. He goes right at Cheney. Somebody jerked the net
there. Interference.
Somebody jerked the bottom of the net, and that ball rolled off.
I thought there was interference there.
It was by somebody. You definitely can see the basket shake and the ball roll off.
There's the mismatch right now, size-wise. Jackson shooting right over the top. There's those soft rims. Oh, it's an Ohio State player.
Yeah,
Ohio State player.
Yep. Couldn't tell whose hand it was, but I knew there was a hand in there. Damon Bailey. Nicely and cleanly.
He's been a very, very quiet star here all game long. So all those doubters, all those people that didn't believe this kid can make the adjustment to play big-time college basketball have learned today he is for real.
Going for his 20th point.
And he doesn't take bad shots, Keith. He has such poise. Missed the free throw there, but he has such poise.
And that wins for you in times like this.
Right now, Jackson's got to post up inside on Meeks. He's got to want the ball down on Meeks.
Bain calls it. Jim Bain outside whistles a foul, and it's against IU.
That's two now. I believe they're in a bonus on that one. It's the 10th foul, so they're shooting two. Not a good foul right there. You stop the clock.
Meeks holding Jackson. And it was Meeks trying to hold Jackson, ran into Brown. Him and Jamal goes to the line. Here's the guy that needs to be heard from with those outside shooters.
He was sick earlier in the week. In fairness to him, had 101 temperature for that Michigan game. Came out of high school. Gary Williams called him a real sleeper, and he's been a solid starter throughout his 3 years.
1 minute exactly to play. Indiana 77, Ohio State 74.
One possession if you're talking about the three.
Reynolds with the ball. Brown's got to pick him up.
Not a strong offensive player, Reynolds. Neither is Meeks. Both are strong on the defensive end. Both looking to give the ball up. Right now, I'd go my number one option in this scenario would be Cheney, number 2, Anderson.
40 seconds. 3-point IU lead.
Uh-oh, they're getting in a trap position.
Got the ball to Reynolds.
Trying to use that clock. I would slide Anderson down inside.
That's your time on the shot clock. Oh, stolen by Trey Lee.
How about Cheney? He's gone. They want the intentional. Cheney is gone. That's going to be bye-bye, Calvert. 26 big ones. But will it be enough?
20 seconds to play.
Drama unfolding. Goes to the sideline. Now we watch the strip. There's the reach in. Got careless with the ball. Lee got a little bit careless. They had the foul prior to where Reynolds touched him. Ron Felling talking to him. Assistant coach on the right.
Lee makes the first one.
Brown converted his 2. Now Lee goes to convert his. And cut it to 1. And we're talking about potential Big Ten championship. We're talking about potential #1 seed out of one of the 4 regions in the NCAA. We're talking about potential coach of the year, potential player of the year, Chaney or Jackson. That's what's at stake.
Pat Graham in backcourt, checked by Gent. Jackson's got to foul Bailey.
He missed his last free throw. Well, Mr. Bailey.
1+1.
Well, Mr. Bailey goes to the line, Keith, and he converts both. You got the 3-point shot that could send it to an OT. So they have to have different options now.
12 seconds to play in the game. It was 42-40 at halftime.
Everything we thought it was going to be, just like last week. Arizona, UCLA. Both leagues do not have a postseason championship. So the real champ is the winner of the league. Look at the crowd going bananas.
Over 13,000 roaring in St. John Arena. Bailey clean as a whistle with it.
I mean, as smooth as can be. And that crowd is really, really exploded on that baseline. Look at the concentration. Look at those eyes. He's been a star since he's been in the 8th grade.
Oh, second one. Ohio State looking for a timeout as they get to front court. Almost throw it away. Now they get the timeout called with 7 seconds to go.
Some people don't call a timeout there, but he called it.
Did you know, if your business doesn't use AT&T 800 service, it takes over 35% longer for your customers' calls to connect.
Now you don't really want me, but you keep me hanging up. You don't really need me, but you keep me hanging up.
The longer your customers wait, the more they may hang up, and that can cost you business. Faster 800 connections, another AT&T advantage.
What do $60 a night motel chains offer you that you can't get at Red Roof Inns? Well, let's add them up and see. This handy shower cap, 59 cents. Shampooette, $2. Dental floss, always a plus. And, ooh, we're still spending $27 a night more than at Red Roof Inns. Wait a minute, I forgot the mint.
Don't pay too much. Hit the roof. Red Roof Inns. Call 1-800-THE-ROOF.
It's a good mint. It's not worth $27, but it's good.
I think, Keith, right now you're going to see a number of different options. Number one, you can go for the tie. I think away from, right now, you're home. So if you're at home and they got Chaney out of the game, you try to get the deuce and go to overtime unless the three-point shot happens to be there within the realm of your offense. And if it's there, the guy that could shoot it would be Chris Gent. If Jackson has the ball, he's looking to drive and get the deuce. Go to OT. You're playing on your own home living room floor, and Chaney's on the sideline. I'm so excited I can't talk.
Figure skating will come just as soon as we get resolution of this ball game. (78-76). Here is St. John Arena, Ohio State University. 7 seconds to play in the ball game. Indiana leading Ohio State.
Well, last week we had Chris Mills step up and hit that big shot to send it to OT, and then Arizona escaped with the W and went back to Arizona with the win. Right here we got Indiana. They're up 2, but the Buckeyes have the rock with 7 ticks on the clock. Will this place explode if they hit a 3? If they hit a deuce and send it to OT, it'll be a rock and roll time.
I agree with you. I think you go for the tie.
Well,
you take what you can get.
Exactly.
Obviously.
That's what you, because the three-point shot is within the realm of your offense. You take it. However, I would not just look for the three-point shot. I could also go to OT.
Okay, Jimmy Jackson comes out talking to Jamal Brown. Brown is their leading three-point shooter. It was Jackson and Brown were holding a very animated conversation.
Well, also, Brown can shoot it, but Chris Gent is a good three-point shooter.
Jackson's got it. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Is he Mr. Clutch? Is he Mr. Clutch?
Vanessa Redgrave and Lynn Redgrave. In the classic psychological thriller, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, Sunday.
This is a Time to Care community calendar.
Make President's Day a very special holiday by supporting the Operation Homefront Beach Rally at Penrod's. Help raise funds for the families of our troops serving in the Mideast. If you're a college-bound minority student in South Florida, there may be a $1,000 scholarship waiting for you. See your high school counselor or ASPRA of Florida. Operation Desert Float is February 23rd at noon on the Intracoastal between Fort Lauderdale and Pompano Beach. There's still time for boat owners to register. Be a phone volunteer for Dade County's Spade Sunday on March 24th. You'll help the Florida Food Recovery Project provide free food to the hungry. Operation Desert Friend, an emotional support group for families of men and women serving in the Mideast, meets every Tuesday at Community Christian Church in Plantation.
This community calendar was brought to you by the Time to Care partners, Blockbuster Video, Circuit City, HCA Grant Center Hospital, Winn-Dixie, and the one and only Channel 10.
Escape. Escape to the rich, rolling hillsides of Ocala horse country found at Steeplechase Farms. Surrounded by nature's peaceful tranquility, Steeplechase Farms offers life's more simple pleasures. Enjoy camping, horseback riding, growing vegetables, or nearby hunting. Plan now for your future. Now offering 5-acre farms and ranches from $14,995, $295 down, just $175 monthly. Call for a free brochure. Call 1-800-FLORIDA-LAND.
To a 5-minute overtime.
Mr. Clutch, we talk about the fact that he loves the ball at the end of the game. What a big-time player. When you pick an All-American team, I don't know how you can forget the name of Jimmy Jackson.
Jamal Brown being checked by Reynolds. Jackson has Bailey on him now as we go to overtime. Now it's Reynolds picking him up, and inside a whistle and a foul by Jody Sylvester.
Matt Nova really gets called for the foul on Perry Carter, trying to get post position.
That's 5 on Nova, so he's gone. He is the second IU man to foul out.
Here's the last play. They clear it out. Does he want the rock? He says, it's my time. It's showtime. I'm a super. That's awesome, baby, with a capital A. Jimmy Jackson.
So Cheney is out, Nova out for Indiana.
They really become small now, too.
Greg Graham comes in.
Yeah, they trade quickness for size. He's had a big day, Carter, offensively.
Carter makes the free throw. It's now a 1-point Ohio State lead. Make it 2.
They made their free throws. The big miss by Damon Bailey. He's had a perfect game, practically, Bailey, but he missed that big free throw that would have clinched it.
Reynolds, Brown checking him. Anderson passes inside. Graham, the smaller man, has it blocked, but Anderson saved it.
They need a score here to quiet this crowd down and to shut down the momentum, because momentum, Uncle Mo, is with Ohio State.
Greg Graham, he had to come out with a sore knee, is back in. Here's Nova fouled out.
Keith Anderson's got to assert himself now. He's got to be the leader, the experienced guy.
Blocking foul called on Chris Gent as Bailey drove in, and that's 5 on Gent.
Damon Bailey likes the dribble penetration. See how he spots the seam? He tries to drive into the seam. Jody Sylvester with the call. Defensive player doesn't rotate over quick enough.
If it is Gent, he's got to come out of the ball game. Gent is holding his head, so it's got to be him, and he's out of there.
He's one of the premier 6 men in basketball, Gent. He's really accepted that role. Last year, he was a starter. And, you know, it's tough to deal with the mentality of a player when he has to go to the bench. And Randy Ayers has done a great job convincing him to his value.
Randy's taking his sweet time about making a decision on who to send in.
While he's using the full allotment of time. Bailey back on the line.
That's Alex Davis.
He's an experienced player, had 24 against Providence. Look at Gent. Look at Gent. Is he a competitor? There was a Buckeye that played here back in 1960, was a lot like that. Who was he? Oh, his name was Knight.
1+1.
Why? He's saying, why couldn't it be a little bit sooner?
Bailey's got a career high now at 21 points. So 2 youngsters have gone for new marks today.
Bailey without taking a forced shot either.
Got them both. We're even again at 80.
I love the stance of Chris Reynolds defensively. He's one of those guys that just loves to play on a defensive end.
Jackson's inside against Bailey. It's short. Rebound Carter, and you got a foul.
Greg Graham, I believe, gets called for grabbing, reaching in.
Hey, Carter will go to the line.
We always get on officials when they miss a call. These 3 guys have done one heck of a job here today at an intense game.
Tough place to work.
Talking about Jim Bain and Randy Drury and Jody Sylvester right there on the line.
Carter just made 2.
He went to prep school after high school out in New Hampshire. Well, I'll take that back. Up in Maine. He went to prep school in Maine. Randy Ayers talking to his 2nd lieutenant, Paul Brazo. Played high school ball over at Gonzaga in Washington, D.C.
Missed it. Rebound, Hoosiers. Greg Graham clears to Bailey.
Nice job by Graham to get out of the double team. Oh, they missed Anderson wide open.
Reynolds. Into Anderson now. He shoots and hits over Carter.
That's what I say, stepping up. He has to step up with his key people on the sideline. Calvert Cheney.
He's got 17 points. Won't get it.
He's great look, though. Great pass. Throwing it over the defense. Here comes that famed motion game. Pass, go away.
3 minutes coming up.
They're always trying to drive into a gap. Mike Krzyzewski does that so well down at Duke.
82-81 Indiana. 3 minutes now in overtime.
Back screen, step.
Bailey got it.
And that was created by the back screen. Bailey laid a back screen, and then he stepped out. Toughest guy to defend. Set the screen, step out, 3-point shot. Bailey.
4-point lead, Indiana. 2:40 to play in overtime.
Well, that back screen is so difficult.
Jackson against Bailey. Missed it. Got a whistle. And it's Greg Graham fouling Treg Lee.
Greg Graham is becoming a reactor. He's not anticipating. Philosophy of good coach teams like Indiana. Anticipate what the offense is going to do. Don't react. Chris Gent, look at the intensity.
Davis is out and Skelton is in for Ohio State with 2.5 minutes to play in overtime at 85-81. Treg Lee makes the first of 2 free throws. 85-82 Indiana. Those of you who've been watching Alabama LSU, we're in overtime, 2.5 to go at St. John Arena at Ohio State. And those 2 free throws make it a 2-point IU lead, but the Hoosiers have the ball.
Indiana, without strong post-up ability, hasn't made Carter pay with those 4 fouls to get him on the sideline. 3 men out, 2 men in. Oh, picking up that dribble, the 5-second violation.
Pass deep inside to Bailey.
Is Damon Bailey proving he is a diaper dandy? I'm talking about one of America's premier freshmen. I don't care what you say about the young guy. He is legitimate.
4-point lead for the Hoosiers. Less than 2 minutes now to play in overtime.
What big plays he's made, Keith.
Yep. Shot short, rebound, Carter.
Loose ball, Carter again comes up with it. Indiana reacting on defense, not anticipating.
Eric Anderson checked by Carter. Bailey on the baseline is cut off. Back to Anderson. Missed it. Rebound, Treg Lee, Ohio State.
Shot the ball a little too quickly. Bobby not happy with that possession. Did not utilize the shot clock enough with the 2-point lead.
Jackson against Bailey. of bounds, Ohio State.
Damon Bailey did an excellent job with his feet there to beat Jackson to a spot on the floor. Meeks, he just plays hard. 4 assists to 1 turnover. That's his ratio.
Bailey switching off Jackson now. That leaves Jamal Meeks on him. It's a mismatch inside. They don't see Jackson.
He was trying to post up on Meeks. Now he brings him out to the perimeter.
Shot is short. Buckeyes get it back. Jamal Brown.
See, on the perimeter, Meeks has got a chance to defend them, but not down on the bottom.
Craig Lee ties it at 87 and 40 seconds to play in overtime.
Good possession by Ohio State. Let's see what Indiana can do.
It's for the lead in the Big Ten. 20th time the game has been tied.
They can take the last shot. The score is tied. 45-second clock is off.
Calvert Chaney is fouled out. Matt Nover is fouled out for IU.
Spreading the court, using that clock.
Meeks, 23. Bailey, 22. Bailey, I think, is the man.
He wants to shoot it.
It's slapped out of his hands. It goes to Reynolds. He misses. We'll go to a second overtime.
You're laughing at me because it's 2 weeks in a row I ought to miss my flight. Oh, baby, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Bailey really wanted that shot, but they did a great job defending him. And then it was really a poor shot by Reynolds, just desperation.
All right, let's check in with John Saunders at our studios in New York.
Thanks a lot, Keith and Dick. We want to remind everyone that following the game, we will join the U.S. Figure Skating Championship from Minneapolis, Minnesota, the men's competition, as we crown a new champion today. In the Daytona 500, your winner is Ernie Irvin, the 1991 champion. Last 3 laps of the race under the caution flag, Sterling Marlin finished in 2nd place. In the SEC earlier today, LSU with a big win over Alabama at home. 88-81 is the final. Shaquille O'Neal, 36 points and 18 rebounds. In the Southwest Conference, Texas loses at Houston.
Thank you.